100 lights, which transform the caves from a black hole to a spectacular underground world. Flying high reveals the scale of this wonderland. The mine was established more than 700 years ago, and each of these caverns was created by the removal of salt. The salt was once part of an ancient sea that covered this region. The strange marks on the cave's walls are historic scars made by hammers and chisels over hundreds of years of extraction. The mine is so large, the maintenance team uses tiny cars to get around. Today, they need to replace a light in one of the park's main attractions. With the light fixed, Robert is ready to welcome the first visitors of the day. While the Teresa mine is used mainly for relaxation, the Rudolf mine is where the fun begins.
I'm really proud of my job. It's a privilege to work here.
Salina Turda is a unique place where people have preserved their past and found a modern way to celebrate their history. In spring, Romania's medieval towns and villages come to life. In Năsăud, thousands of people dress in traditional outfits to celebrate Romania's folk costume day. And in Romania's most remote communities, efforts are now being made to preserve far more than just costumes and cultures. In Romania's west, the tip of the Carpathian Mountains is split by a massive valley. Pushing through the clouds reveals a remarkable sight. A river winds through the flatlands like an enormous snake, and on its banks sit dozens of historic villages. This is the Gurasada commune, a collection of villages famed for their historic churches. Located in close proximity to the Mureș River, these communities rely heavily on fishing and traditional farming. But the old Orthodox churches have always been the center of social life. The most well-known is the Church of St. Michael the Archangel, built in the 13th century. Romania's harsh climate has taken its toll on the building's roof, and today it needs urgent repair. The roof is clad in traditional oak shingles in place of tiles. These roofs are now so rare in Romania that this church is one of only 4 built in this style that survives here. The damaged roof is also threatening the spectacular 300-year-old religious paintings that adorn the walls of the bell tower. Today, a Romanian volunteer organization is on a mission to rescue the Church of St. Michael the Archangel. Among them is architecture student Cesara. She's happy to give up her time for free to gain first-hand knowledge of the ancient art of shingle making.
It's amazing that I can get to know how things are really built in real life in a site like this, and learn about the heritage that we have today.
In a country where public spending on renovating historical buildings is limited, this group performs a vital function. The team works completely voluntarily and they focus mainly on urgent interventions like replacing damaged roofs and securing walls from collapse.
This building is really important for our cultural identity because it's something really traditional that is only made in this place almost 1,000 years ago. It's a tradition that is almost lost in Romania.
Working with the oak shingles is an unusual experience, which brings the team closer in touch with architects of the past. Many volunteers, like Cesara, live miles away from the site and will spend the entire summer working here non-stop. But for them it's worth it to see the fruits of their labor finally revealed. 4 months later, the roof of the church is completely covered with new oak tiles. It's a heartwarming sight for both the team and the community, whose church is now safe for decades to come. As the days become warmer and longer, the sandy beaches of Romania's Black Sea resorts undergo a colorful transformation. And Romanians pour into the streets of ancient towns and cities to celebrate the arrival of summer. Summer brings people across the country together. The Linden Tree Festival gathers people in the green fields of Luncavița to celebrate local culture and listen to live music. But as the summer temperatures peak, in Romania's countryside, it's time for harvest. Romania's landscape is dominated by agriculture. Around 60% of the entire nation is farmland, an area nearly 4 times the size of Switzerland. Close to the nation's capital, Bucharest, the landscape appears as an incredible patchwork of colors, and in summer, this region undergoes an astonishing aerial transformation. The fields surrounding Amaru erupt in a vibrant explosion of yellow, as Romania's famous sunflower crop blooms for less than a month. Romania is Europe's largest producer of sunflower seeds, with an annual harvest of around 2 million tons. Emanuel Dinca leads a team tending to one of the region's biggest sunflower farms.
When you walk past a blooming sunflower crop, no matter how upset you are or how stressed you are, your day refreshes and you are happier.
But these yellow blooms are no good for Emanuel. He needs to wait for the plants to die before he can harvest their seeds. The hot summer sun transforms the golden fields into a sea of brown and black. When the conditions are just right, Emanuel assembles an army of monster-sized machines to collect the seeds as quickly as possible. "120 blades slice through the tough vegetation. The machines crunch through the fields of flowers in perfectly straight lines and separate the sunflower heads from their stalks. Then they shake the precious seeds out of the heads and shuttle them into a storage tank on the back of the harvester. There is one task left for Emanuel and his team. They load the precious seeds onto a convoy of 4 trucks to take to factories for processing.
I grew up in the countryside, around sunflowers and other crops, but this is the most beautiful. If I were to be born a second time, I would want to be born in Romania again.
Romania's fertile farmland and temperate continental climate also provides the ideal growing conditions for wheat, corn, maize, and fruit. Other prominent Romanian industries include chemical production, metal processing, and machine manufacturing. Some of these products are transported to Europe through the Danube River. But for international exports, Romania's busy Black Sea ports are key. Through history, the Black Sea formed a vital trading route into Europe. Even the ancient Greeks used the port of Constanta, which lies in modern-day Romania. Zooming into Constanta today reveals this ancient port city is as busy as ever 2,000 years later. Every year, Constanta can handle up to 100 million tons of goods. And this one section of the port is dedicated to holding and loading vast bulk carriers with Romanian grain such as wheat. The grain is stored inside these enormous silos. Each one can hold up to 10,000 tons. Our aerial cameras have exclusive access to the loading of a bulk carrier called Thor, with 60,000 tons of wheat destined for Egypt. That's enough to make 84 million loaves of bread. Sarhan Yadimcha is the Chief Operations Officer here.
I have a total 15 years of port management experience. I'm proud of this because it's a very challenging environment, and managing all these vessels, barges, rail cars, logistic, in fact playing chess, we never get bored.
The team gets to work straight away, filling the ship with grain from the port's giant silos. From high above, it is possible to see that the ship has 7 separate holds. This is so the weight of the grain can be distributed evenly across the ship. Put it all in one spot, and the ship risks listing to one side, or even snapping in half. Once the first hold is half full, the team moves on to the next. Sarhan orders 2 barges to dump grain from the other side of the ship. Although dwarfed by the size of the hold, each of the floating crane's scoops carries up to 15 cubic meters of grain. Hidden among these mechanical monsters are a team of expert engineers who keep the operation running. 36 people in total across 6 shifts will work day and night before Thor is finally ready to set sail.
We have a large team which needs to communicate and work hand in hand together. It's a continuous adrenaline rush. We like it.
3 days and 60,000 tons of wheat later, bulk carrier Thor is finally ready to set sail for Egypt. The weight of the grain in its hull means it now rests 7 meters lower in the water than it did before. But most importantly for Sarhan and the team, it's perfectly balanced.
Feeding the world together. This is our mottos. We are a strong and important link in a food supply chain, and knowing this importance, we try to do our best